oldest technologies that scientists still can't explain. Scientists may have unraveled the mysterious Titanic of the ancient world, but there are still so many mysteries they are yet to explain despite their advanced methods and years of research. One such mystery is the technologies used by our ancestors thousands of years ago, some dating back to the Stone Age. If you were strolling on a beach and found a piece of glass, you'd assume it was manufactured in a factory somewhere in China, but you'd be wrong. Objects more sophisticated than glass have been found around the world, and they didn't come from us, but from people that lived long before you and I were born. These technologies make it quite clear that humans had so much more than stones and bronze, and ancient civilization may have been ancient, but not useless. The main era of technology started in the 18th century when machines were invented and real manufacturing started. Before this time, all humans had was bronze and stone, or so we thought. This explains why some folks have attributed ancient technology to a higher civilization, like aliens or angels, and we can't blame them. Structures like the Neolithic churches in Ethiopia, made entirely from rock, are truly mind-boggling. What did they use to carve out hard rocks with such precision? It had to be angels, right? But they aren't. Our ancestors were more advanced than we give them credit for. In this video, we'll show you 10 old technologies that scientists are still trying to explain how they came about. Number 10. Nan Madal. It took ages for architects to erect structures on top of the water. Even with their expertise, some of these structures sink back into the ocean, destroying lives and properties. But here is Nan Madal, an ancient city built on a coral reef. Nan Madal was constructed between 1180 and 1200 AD, but there are no records of how it was constructed or who constructed it. Pohnpeian tradition explains that a similar structure exists in Khosrau. According to them, its builders had migrated to Pompeii, where they used their expertise and experience to build the Nan Madal complex. But dating says otherwise. The Nan Madal complex predates the Lilu, so it's possible that Nan Madal inspired the Lilu archaeological site. Number 9. Damascus Steel. If you think the lightsaber from Star Wars is cool, wait till you see the Damascus Steel. This weapon dates back to 750 to 945 CE, during the time of Alexander the Great, when swords were such a big deal. Damascus steel was made from Wootz steel, a type found only in India 2,000 years ago. This fine and durable material was used for making weapons like swords, which turned out to be lightweight yet powerful and retain their sharpness even after a battle, as if created by magic. No one has been able to duplicate the Damascus steel because the raw materials are no longer available, and the method is too complicated for engineers to try. The recipe has been long lost, and even though blacksmiths are trying to copy it, it'll never be like the original. Number 8. Codex Gigas. If you thought the Bible was large, wait till you see the Codex Gigas. It is 36 inches long and dates back to the 13th century. The mystery behind the manuscript is not the writings. It's understood that it contains a portrait of Satan, hence its name, the Devil's Bible. The puzzle is, how was it made? Ancient manuscripts were never this large because whoever wrote them must take months or years to carefully and painstakingly ink down the letters and symbols. But here is the Codex Gigas, 310 pages made from vellum from 160 donkeys. Judging by the amount of text and detailing, researchers have concluded that it took as long as 30 years to finish the book and that it was written by a monk living in Bohemia, now a part of the Czech Republic. Number 7. Zhangs seismoscope. China has so many earthquake-prone areas, and over the years there have been many catastrophic occurrences, including the 1976 Tangshan earthquake, which took over 300,000 lives. 2,000 years ago, a Chinese engineer named Zhang developed a method to predict earthquake occurrences, an ancient seismoscope that he first displayed at the court of the Han Dynasty. Zhang, an astronomer, believed an earthquake was caused by air escaping from a point it was compressed or from a narrow space, so he designed a device that would detect earthquakes even from miles away by working with wind waves. It was a giant bronze vessel with 8 dragons lined on its body with their heads facing downwards. Each of the dragons had a small bronze ball in its mouth, and beneath them were 8 bronze toads with their mouths open to swallow the balls released by the dragon. The proof that this device worked came 6 years after it was invented. It detected a large quake in the now Gansu province, 1,000 miles away from Luoyang. Scientists are yet to understand how this device worked, but one theory is that a thin stick in the center of the barrel would topple and push the ball from the dragon's mouth when there was an earthquake. Number 6. The Feistos Disc. The Feistos Disc was discovered back in 1908 by an Italian archaeologist, Luigi Pernier, in the Minoan Palace of the Feistosin. This unusual metal is about 4,000 years old, a product of the made from fired clay. The disc is about 5.9 inches in diameter and is covered on both sides with a spiral of 45 distinct symbols, which are believed to be made by pressing sacred carvings into a disc of soft clay in a clockwise manner so that they spiral toward the center of the disc. It sounds easy to explain, but wasn't so easy to craft. Whoever made this must have spent months on it, considering they barely had the technology. Archaeologist Owens, who has been trying to solve the puzzle, thinks the Minoan goddess of love, Astarte, holds the key to the mystery of the Feistos Disc. Number 5. Ethiopian Churches. Ethiopia is one of the many countries mentioned in the Bible, but what some people do not know about this African country is that it's home to one of the earliest churches. The Lalibela is one of Ethiopia's holiest cities, known for its numerous rock-cut monolithic churches. The churches, which date back to the 7th and 13th centuries, are made purely from rocks precisely cut to shape using a technology that scientists cannot explain. According to Ethiopia's history, the structure of the churches was inspired by Jerusalem. The churches were carved from a single rock to symbolize spirituality and humility. This would mean that the builders spent years cutting a rock piece by piece and then constructing a building. Some Ethiopians argue that the churches weren't built by hand, but by angels. Can you blame them? Absolutely not. Number 4. Ancient graves. Archaeologists and scientists believe the first humans appeared between 5 and 7 million years ago. While some of our ancestors died and decayed into organic matter, others were buried in special tombs, and such tombs are scattered around the world, with some buried far beyond where we dig. Such was the case of these ancient graves in Henan Province, China, until archaeologists applied their expertise to solve the mystery. In the 24 tomb complex were several pits containing war chariots, the remains of horses that drew them, and the remains of the warriors, including hats, gold veneers, and strings of shells. The 3,000-year-old tomb is believed to be the gravesite of a wealthy Chinese clan called Ce. But what blows our minds is how a structure of this magnitude was built over 3,000 years before stone-cutting machines were invented. Number 3. Maltas Hypogeum. Like the Zhang dynasty, the people of Malta thought it wise to bury the dead in large tombs. In 1902, while construction workers were excavating a well for a housing subdivision, they accidentally found one of the chambers of the Hypogeum. The Hypogeum of Hal Safilieni is one of the most preserved Neolithic sites in the world, mainly because it is completely underground and sealed. The underground tomb was carved into soft Glauber Regina limestone found about 3 miles from Malta's capital. Again, science cannot explain who carved them and with what. Maybe aliens did. Number 2. Roman Dodecahedron. This artifact has been a hard nut to crack. It looks like something off an alien spaceship. The first of these pieces was discovered in 1739 by a local historian in Hertfordshire. It had 12 faces, each with a hole and a globular knob. Most dodecahedrons are 4 to 11 centimeters in size and weigh between 35 and 580 grams. By 2016, 116 dodecahedra had been found in different parts of the world, which means they were very important pieces. But there is no record of it in ancient writings. 2 things remain mysterious about this artifact. No one knows how they forged this metal, nor what they were used for. Number 1. Nimrod Lens. The first lens was made only 400 years ago in the Netherlands, but here's a piece of glass that is widely believed to have been used as a lens 3,000 years ago. It was discovered in 1850 by Sir John Layard in the Assyrian palace of Nimrud, and since then, there have been debates about what this glass was used for, or how it was made. An Italian professor argued that the ancient Assyrians used the lens as part of a telescope. Quite frankly, the Assyrians know a lot about astronomy, so he may be right. This lens is made of natural rock crystal with a focal length of about 12 centimeters, which can magnify an object to 3 times its size. Did humans know about telescopes 3,000 years ago?